Peace and love, peace and love. Welcome back. We're gonna continue on with this Mandela effect. Trying to remember where exactly I was last time. I told you about sunset and sunrise. Well, this is the thing with the Mandela effect. When you look up things like Shazam, um, what's the guy that did the sweepstakes, went around giving money to everybody, gave a little surprise publishers clearinghouse. Yeah, the guy that did that. I can't even remember his name right now, but they're saying the guy that I grew up watching, they used to have these infomercials doing this, these 30-minute infomercials. He didn't do it anymore. They got some other guy doing it now. All these Mandela effects that you look up, and they when you look it up on the internet, it'll say something about the Mandela effect with these things. And then you have these other set of things like this King Tut burial mass, and it mentions nothing about the Mandela effect. And this is part of the programming and how it works. If they don't mention it, we don't mention it. We act like it's just like that. It just is. We'll give it over to the power of God or something. It was a miracle. Things just change. Nobody's talked about sunset and sunrise changing. Nobody officially been on TV. No scientist, the government, or anything brought anything up about it that I've seen or heard from anyone. Maybe I missed it. Maybe out there somewhere the government has talked about this thing. I haven't seen it. I've seen no one, and people I talk to, they haven't seen anything. Seen nothing. I've seen nothing about the Mandela effect when I searched this King Tut burial mass. Nothing. Nothing at all. And that's the way it works. The guy that bet me he could find the original mask, the right one, after 2 weeks, come back and I'm talking to him and he couldn't find it. And eventually he says, maybe the vulture was always there and he just never noticed it. And I asked him, so why'd you start looking? And that's sort of the way it works. See, he had seen so many, and this is where it works with everybody. You see so many pictures and so many videos, and you can't find the original, and it's always been like that. You can't find or read anywhere where it was anywhere different. And you say to yourself, well, maybe it's always been like that, and I just remember it wrong. I just got it wrong. And that's what he did. And I said to him, why'd you even start looking? And the whole thing is about knowing your own mind. Know thyself. You know if that snake was there with a vulture or not. If you saw this, that's a whole nother thing. These are just Mandela effects here. What about the rest of the world? The stuff you don't know about that's changed. That's a whole nother issue. If this has changed, what else has changed around the world? So when it comes to the Mandela effect, knowing your own mind is what is really important about what you remember happened and didn't happen. What you really know. Like, I know that vulture wasn't there because I spent weeks trying to draw this mask and I never tried to draw that vulture because it wasn't there. I was trying to draw that snake in the center, perfect. I know a guy that's got a tattoo of the pharaoh, except he didn't put a snake on there. And his reason was the tattoo was sort of small. He didn't think the snake was going to look good, so he left it out. So he knows that there wasn't a vulture up there. You see what I'm saying? Those little things, that's how you know that, okay, that wasn't there, regardless of what you saw. Just like when a guy says to me, I can bet you I can find the original, because in his mind, he's seen it. He know what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? Know thyself. Know your own mind. That's a whole thing with the Mandela effect. Because I think it will get worse. I don't think this is the end of it. I think there will be more changes dealing with it. As the more they use the Cern machine, I think there will be more changes. The question is, will we notice what the changes are? How long will it take for us to notice? So going back to what I said before about the last time they turned on the Cern machine, July 5th, 2020, if you remember that summer, I'm from North Carolina, in America. So that summer, we had all these storms, and it was probably like 2.5 weeks straight. There was a storm like every day, about the same time every day for a few hours, and then it'd go away. The clouds look crazy. And I wish I had took more video of it. At that point, I'm talking to people, and everybody's just like, "Oh yeah, it's this and it's that," almost like it's normal. Like clouds do that. You know what I'm saying? Except these it was abnormal. And then there was the color changes of the sky. The sky was turning green, purple, orange, red after these storms. All the colors of the chakra system. It was crazy, and people were just acting like it was normal. Of course. And I was going to this same little spot every day for about a week. And every day we would sort of time it out. We know about this time, it was about 2 o'clock. The storm was going to be there real good. So I get there about 1:30, right before the storm hit. Sit there, watch the storm be over with, leave when it was over with. Hour and a half, 2 hours maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a regular thing for like a week. And we sat there and we talked about it, man. I tried to, drop little hints about what it could be. A lot of people don't want to go too deep with it. They don't want to go deep with stuff at all. You start talking beyond the knowledge of things they know, and it's like they shut down after that. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone, a lot of people do that. And a lot of people just thought it was normal. Also during that time is when sunset and sunrise changed that summer. It was the first time I noticed it. And I was working a lot of hours the year prior to that, so I was outside. It didn't happen. I didn't notice it. This year, it was noticeable, extremely noticeable. And at one point that summer, I know I went out and it was 9:45 at night, sometime during July, and it was still lit up like it's like 6 o'clock, 7:30 maybe. You know what I mean? It was still lit up bright, and people were just walking around like it's normal. I was like, it's almost 10 o'clock, and it's still lit up. And I'm telling you, instead of it taking a half hour for it to get dark, now it only takes about 15 minutes. When it starts getting dark, it gets dark quick. And I'm telling you, at 10 o'clock, it was dark. I went back out there at 10 o'clock, and it was dark. I was like, damn. I mean, it just happened so quick. It's crazy. So when they turn the Cern machine on, supposedly, and this is what they say is when they turn it on. Me, this is what I think. I think they tell us they turn the Cern machine on when they want to tell us. I think they use that thing whenever they feel like using that thing. That's what I think. I could be wrong. This is just my theory. I mean, you got this big machine here where all the other stuff you hide, and we're going to tell you when we turn it on. And I think maybe they're telling us that so when these occurrences do happen, people will have a way to explain it off. That year, they turned it on, there was a lot of pictures coming out from Cern about how the sky was looking. And it looked a lot like the sky we were seeing here. Certain pictures, certain pics, 2022. Oh, I done messed it up. Cern pics 2022. Let's see what we can get here. You know what? Let's add something in here. Cern sky. Let's go with that. There we go. These were supposedly some of the images they were getting over the skies at Cern. There was this green sky here. We had that green sky here, I think, in like Oklahoma, somewhere up there in the Midwest, and it was on the news. You know, they talked about it, and everybody gave little different theories. Except those couple of weeks, those storms were happening every day, and sky was turning different colors. Guys was taking pictures of them. There was during that time. Shortly after those storms, for those couple of weeks, where I live, there was a storm that would appear every day, same time, about 7 o'clock, and it'd go to about 9 o'clock. Every day at the same time, and it would be different colors, and the storm would not move. It would sit there for hours and not move. I took a video of it one night. I would come in and out, checking on it to see if it was still there, to see if it moved. This one night I'm watching it, and oh man, it was basically purple, except the video I took didn't really do it justice. It was flashing all the colors of the rainbow, except the dominant one this night was purple, and this is the way it went. One night it'd be blue, one night it'd be red, one night it'd be orange, one night it'd be yellow, except it always flashed all these colors. So this one night it was purple, and it's getting really hectic and big, and it's lightning in this little spot. It's crazy, and you just keep getting these flashes of all this color. And this is something I haven't up all these videos on my phone. I'll try to show that. I might try to show that before we get done here. I have to look through and see. All these colors were flashing, and the storm, it just seemed like it kept getting a little bigger and brighter and brighter. And all of a sudden, all these dark clouds just moved in and covered it up. It was weird. I mean, and the clouds, they were black clouds. These had to be black clouds. They're not clear black clouds to cover this thing up, and the thing was getting so bright that even through these clouds, you could still see it flashing. I mean, it was crazy. Yeah, so that happened every day for a couple of weeks. Everybody just looks at it, and we just go on about our business like it's normal. You see what I'm saying? They don't address the issue. They don't talk about it, so we don't talk about it. They didn't give us an explanation, so we have no explanation. All our explanations are in fit inside this little tiny box that they gave us of all these things that are possible and impossible. And I'm here to tell you there's no such thing as possible and impossible. Those are made up words to keep you from thinking outside of that box. That's literally what that is. all the rules and regulations you've been given, what you can and you can't do, you shouldn't do, this what's gonna happen to you, that's what's gonna happen to you. It's all put, it's all the barriers you can't go past inside this box in your head of things that you can't do, that you think that you want to do, you think you can't do because you got all these impossibles and can'ts and you're not supposed to. This is what we supposed to do. Church on Sunday, school on Monday, you know what I mean? Work on Tuesday, party on Saturday, you know, vacation during the summer. All this stuff, all these things regulate this whole system. And inside this box, this is where you move in. This is all the things you do. And when you start thinking outside of that box, then you can move in all these places. All these things, you'll stop saying, I can't. This is impossible. When you start, they didn't build Cern by thinking, I can't do it. They worked on that and they worked on that until they figured out how they could build this super collider. And let's get this straight. This is not the only one. This is the one everybody talks about because it's the biggest. That's why it's called the super collider. So, supposedly, I want to say 118. I think it's more than that. There's a lot of Cern machines, shall we say. They're just a lot smaller. There's a couple in the United States. And supposedly, once again, the World Wide Web back in the day was created to connect all these machines. Now, I think all the smaller ones are connected to be able to connect to the larger one. They all work together. They all work together. It's an inner working web. Yet in the beginning, all the smaller ones were connected. And that this large Hadron Collider, which is why they make a big deal about it, is what they've been waiting on to do what they actually been wanting to do, which is make these wormholes and portals and pass things in and out through that. Now, why is this important at all? Because we go back to the eclipse. Now, when it comes to the eclipse, you never see the moon actually eclipse the sun. They tell you the sun is too bright and blah, blah, blah. You can't see it. Blah, 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 blah. You see the moon and the sun in the sky all the time. Why just on the eclipse can you not see it? This is my theory. And this is what I'm sticking with. And I don't care what they say, because these people lie to me every day. I got no reason to believe them. I have no reason to trust these people about what they say. None. They've been lying to me since I was in second grade, man. And you know what the bad part is? I had to do a bunch of research and catch them in their lies. And they still lie to my face. And on top of that, you take my money to do it. Come on, you take everybody's money. And you give us cartoons, man. That don't look. So you gotta ask, what are you really doing with the money? Huh? Where the money, son? Where's the money? Look, when it comes to this whole eclipse thing, I'm still with this Rahu and Ketu, man. And this is what I think. We are seeing this, I don't want to use the word invisible, except this sphere, this ball of light. Don't know if it's a ball. It could be flat. Possibly a ball of light, appears to be a ball of light that is not visible to our spectrum of view. And I'm not sure which one that is, Rahu or Ketu. these objects, they eclipse each other from time to time. And I think that is what is happening when we have, I believe that's the lunar eclipse. When they say the shadow is casted on the moon, I think that's what's happening. Because what they're saying don't make sense. The way that eclipse happened, it don't make sense. Something happened. And once again, we're going to bring up Cern because they turned Cern on and they fired rockets at it. They fired rockets at the eclipse. Rockets fired. See that for yourself. This is what they do. Named for a super serpent deity. Now, I'm not going to sit here and read this right now, but this is what they did. They fired rockets at the eclipse. Apparently, they were trying to get readings from the eclipse that they can't get readings with using a satellite. So one of the rockets was supposedly fired when the eclipse fired at the eclipse. I don't know if it was supposed to hit at the same time or not. I haven't dug that much into the story. So when the eclipse reached what's the word? When it gets to the total eclipse, one of the rockets was supposed to be fired at it or hit the eclipse or something like that, or be sent up there for them to get readings or something like that. This is my thing, man. If the moon is a solid object, why are you firing rockets at it? Why can't you not just simply use the satellites to track it? All of a sudden during this event, you can't track it using satellites. It doesn't work. You got to fire rockets at it to do it. See, people who are looking for the truth, we didn't make a big deal about this. They did. They closed the schools down. They called in the National Guard. They did all these things. We wasn't talking about this. They were the ones saying that there could possibly be some type of solar flare or something, some type of event that was going to happen pertaining to the sun, where during the eclipse that could possibly knock out the power, knock out the grid for a few minutes or something like that. And people just sort of took that and ran with it. That's what made this whole eclipse thing more of a bigger deal than what it was. These celestial events are always big deals. Except they wanted to. What happened was a lot of fear and people got hyped up. And it was go out and buy batteries and candles because this is it. It's going down right now. I heard a lot of that. A lot of people asked me about that. Like, I don't know. This is another eclipse. They're doing something. What's going on? And once again, we're talking about Cern making portals, Rahu and Ketu lining up. It's like these eclipses are like a lock and key. It's like when you stick the key in and you turn the tumblers and everything lines up, then it unlocks the door, right? And that's sort of what's happening. When the planets, when these objects align to form this eclipse, the ancestor said this was a doorway into a different realm, a different dimension. What they're doing is operating off that science and sending something through or trying to get something out of it. And they've been doing this. These people have interdimensional travel, I think, already. And they've been using it right in front of us, and we don't know it. And what do I mean? Once again, I'm in North Carolina, so it's a few years ago, there was a fireball in Concord. Fireball in Concord. NC. See if we can go to images. There we go. A lot of people saw this. It went through a neighborhood. They called it a fireball. I'm gonna tell you what. I saw this thing that night from where I'm at. I'm in Greensboro. I saw this thing this night. Excuse me. I was standing on my balcony, looking at the stars, looking at the sky. It was the usual thing I did, and I saw this explosion. I'm looking dead in the direction I'm looking dead at where this thing happened. And I see this explosion, and it almost looked like fireworks. And I forget when this was, but I was like, it's been a while since the 4th of July. I know sometimes people just shoot off fireworks just for the hell of it. And so I was like, somebody shooting fireworks? It's crazy. And then, and what it was it looked like fireworks. It was red and yellow, just red and yellow fireworks. And then there was this blue thing that dropped down from it. And I was like, that's weird. Because I'm thinking it's fireworks, and it just sort of drops down. And then it's dropping down, it just disappears. It's like it didn't hit the ground. And I remember I was talking to my mom, and I was telling her about it. And I was like, this was shortly after me having my awakening experience. I was seeing a lot of stuff, man. Because I'd been looking at the sky for a while, man, and now I'm deep into looking into the sky and watching it every day and stuff, right? So, and I don't usually tell people about the stuff I see, because the stuff I see is so crazy, they are not gonna believe me. They're gonna look at me like I'm stupid. They're gonna look at me like I'm crazy when I tell you what I'm telling. I'm telling you, you had to be there. And I used to tell people all the time, I need a GoPro on my head all the time. 99% of the time, it's going to be a bunch of BS. It's nothing. It's going to be boring. That 1% though, it's going to be a game changer. That 1% you see, you get to see what I saw. Oh, it's going to be a game changer. You won't be looking at it the same no more. So anyway, I'm telling her about this, and I was like, this ain't going to be on the news. I ain't seen it. You know, it's like, ain't nobody going to talk about this. This is crazy. This is one of those things. And lo and behold, a couple days later, it was on the news. There it was. And I was like, dang, I didn't even know that was the direction I was looking. I had my directions off. I thought I was looking more east instead of south. But yeah, I'm looking south right there. And that's exactly what I saw. And the thing about it is, this thing went low through this neighborhood, and everybody saw it, right? Where the crash site? They called it a fireball, some type of comet meteor. What a crash site? Didn't nothing hit, nothing got struck. Where'd it go? It was just this fireball everybody saw in the sky. And I was thinking Project Bluebeam. I remember at the time, man, I was like, they just showing this stuff because they getting us ready for the aliens. They just going to show us different stuff in the sky. This is Project Bluebeam, just images. They want you to see it and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's where I was with it. That's what I was thinking. No. These people is 50 to 200 years ahead of us. Let me give you an idea of how advanced that is. 40 years 40 years is the difference between Nintendo and PS5. You see what I'm saying? At minimum, when they gave us Nintendo, they had the PS12 already. You see what I mean? It's already ready to go. That's how advanced they are ahead of us. At a minimum. At a minimum. That's how advanced they are. And like I said, I've been watching the sky for a long time. And especially after this, I actually saw this a couple more times. And I thought it was weird. It looks like, if you ever watch Dragon Ball Z, when they in the little capsule corp things, their little balls and whatnot, they get in to travel through space. And when they travel through space, they got this little glow around them and this little tail they leave behind. This is what this thing I saw in the sky looked like. It looked like that. Except it looked like more like a comet or something. If you've ever seen a shooting stars just, they look like stars and they just sort of fall out the sky, at some type of angle, downward at the ground, right? This thing streaks across the sky and then it gets real bright, and just sort of disappears. It never hits anything. I've seen it twice. Since this incident, I've seen it twice. It happened so quick, you got about a second and a half. That's it. Just enough to watch it streak across the sky, get bright, and blitz out. Remember on Star Trek, when they go to warp speed, how everything sort of stretch out and they just sort of take off and then it's like just a little flash and they gone? That's what they doing. They done figured it out and they using this technology right in front of us, and we so dumbed down, we go, oh, shooting stars, look at that. I'm telling you, man, these people is advanced. They already using this technology. I'm telling you. I've been watching the things in the sky and the moon. I'm not even sure what we looking at is the real moon. That's a whole nother issue. This whole simulation theory is real. It's real. It's not a joke. It's not a game. What we seeing in the sky is a projection. Projected from where? The true source is the North Pole, the center of our universe. These people, I think this is part of what they were talking about with the pole shift when you turned on Cern. Bro Sanchez talked a lot about this, and I understood what he was saying. I just wasn't sure if that was right. Like, his information is right. You can't deny his information. The way he break it down with the symbols and what they doing, you can't deny it. My question was, like, how would that work? Like, really understanding how would that work? To have a pole shift, to have something switch like that. And this thing with Cern, man, maybe they are changing to the projection of what's being projected into the sky. I don't know. I don't know. The North Pole is the source of all creation, according to the ancestors. Everything comes from the North Pole. That's why the Dogon talked about being from the lands of the North. And the scientists that went down there want to say that no, they couldn't travel that far. They couldn't have went that far. there are natural portals here, and these people have been using them for years, for centuries. There's nothing new here. So the wormholes they're trying to create at Cern that they're telling you about, they've been created before. Wormholes at Cern. We'll just go to some images. And this is pretty much what their theory is. You're sort of bending time and space. Literally traveling through a wormhole. And they're really working on this stuff. This is not some stuff I'm making up. This is what they're saying they're trying to do. So you can get from one end to the other. What that look like? It look like an hourglass, right? Right. The sands of time. Now, this top part here, imagine that as being flat Earth. And this is the North Pole here in the center. Our reality is projected out of the North Pole, what we see in the sky. What we see up there isn't real. They can't land on the moon. That's why that scientist was talking about the moon being plasma. So we hit the right buttons. Let me see if I can go to videos and just see if I can hit his video. There you go. First video pops up. This guy right here. This guy right here. We're not going to play the video right now. You know what? Here you go. I'm showing you the video. I'm not going to play this thing right now. I didn't timestamp it, didn't check. It's a 10-minute video. You know what? Let me go back to the other one. The other one's a 2-minute video. I think this is the one he just comes out and says it.
About the moon, and we expect to be able to get observable facts about the moon fairly soon. What is your theory?
Well, it is by now rather more than a theory. 10 or 11 years ago, I stated to various scientists that the moon is not a piece of rock, but it is a plasma phenomenon, cosmic plasma.
That's all we need to hear right there, man. We don't need to go no further, man. I'm not making this up. I'm not saying this out of my... This is what this scientist was saying back in the day. And we all learned about this dude. They all told us about this dude back in the day. But they made him seem like he was stupid. When they taught you in 2nd grade about the moon landing, they told you about this dude right here. And they made him seem like he was stupid and he was a quack. Because after he did this, he flew into obscurity. His work was... what's the word? His character was made to look bad. I'm not, the right word is not coming to me right now, but you know what I'm saying. He was discredited highly. You know what I mean? And he flew into obscurity. Where did this dude go? Nobody knows. We know what happened to Einstein. We got books and stuff on him and Edison, and because they want us to know who they want us to know. They don't want you to know about this dude. They want you to forget about talking about that dude. When you listen to what he says and he breaks it down, and then you look at the moon landing photos and the videos, come on, man. You playing with me now. Look at some of these old, man, if you go back through it, we're gonna do that at some point. We're gonna go back through some of these old moon videos. You'll see how fake it is, how it look like they hanging on wires and the whole nine, man. It's crazy, man. People fell for that back then. They fell for aluminum being strong enough to go to the moon and not get hit by none of these small rocks or whatever. What do they call them? Meteor rocks or whatever that fly through space. And yeah, They had us believing a lot of goofy stuff back then. And once you start thinking about it logically and then looking at some of them pictures and videos, you'd be like, hold up, man, for real? For real? I'm telling you. So, like, our sky is projected. It's not real. It's not what you think it is. I was out one night working, and like I said, I watched the sky a lot. Got a buddy at work. We was both watching the sky a lot. And at this time, usually watching these drones. Watching these drones fly, because they had so many drones up in the sky. I called them drones because they looked like drones. They didn't look like planes. They looked like they were flying low. They're just small. You can't tell. They got the same lights and everything like a regular plane, except it's small and they're low. They look like, from where you at, you just look up, it looked like it's a big plane flying in the sky high up there. That's a little drone. It's not that big. And I kept telling people that, man. Some of the stuff they were spraying us with, these is drones. They're not that big. They're not that big. And at one point, I used to videotape these drones, these objects flying, trying to catch them, trying to see what they look like. They're different types of vehicles, you know, so maybe all of them aren't drones. They look like they were at different heights. That they look different. And then I started noticing that some of them had this white thing that was following them. The ones that spraying the trails, the chemtrails, and you see the trails, they're going back and forth, they would have this little white object following them. And I work outside, so I'm looking at the sky all day, and all day they're passing back and forth, and I'm watching, and they got this little white object that's following them to a T, like right on track, and they're like right behind them the whole time. And from what I could tell, it wasn't like the object was lit up. It was more like it was reflecting off the sun. That's why it looked white. I could never get it on video. I could never capture it, hard as I would try. And then this one day I'm looking and I see the thing flying by itself. The sky was clear blue. And I'm like, wow, it's out there by itself. It's not following one of the things. And I thought that was weird. And I'm looking at it and I shit you not, the motherfucker disappeared. Wasn't no clouds in the sky. I'm looking dead at it. I didn't even blink, and all of a sudden it's just not there. It's just not there no more. And I kept looking in the sky like, did I lose track of it somehow? Like I'm looking and I'm looking. It ain't there no more. The motherfucker just disappeared. My theory is they got a whole lot of shit up there flying in the sky. I've been looking at the sky for a long time. And you've been using this cloud cover for something, man. Something happened. The whole lightning in the clouds, but you don't see no lightning. You just see the clouds glowing yellow and shit, glowing yellow and orange. And then you hear this sound that is supposed to be thunder, except it's not thunder. Thunder is vibrational. You feel it. You see what I'm saying? This was just like some noise in the air. It didn't even sound quite like thunder. But if you hear noise in the air, it must be thunder. It wasn't right. It didn't add up. It was all funny and fugazi. It was weird. And the weirdest thing about it was, during this time, I'd be outside all day, clear blue sky, no clouds in the sky. As soon as it turns dark, black clouds. Like they don't want you to see the stars. You couldn't see the stars at all. Black clouds just come in. And you can't really tell because it's nighttime and the skies, you know what I'm saying? You can't really tell there's a bunch of black clouds, except when you were seeing that lightning, the stuff that they were calling lightning. When that would happen, you could see the sky lit up, and that whatever was going on is covered up by all these black clouds. You could see it just, whatever was going on just lighting up inside of all them black clouds. It was weird, man. It was crazy. So yeah, when it comes to this sky, I've seen a lot of stuff, man. And back to what I was saying, this one night, me and this guy, we had been working these night shifts and watching the sky. And this one night in particular, I see the moon, and the moon looks crazy. I could see the dark side of the moon, clear as day. It was crazy as hell. It was all bubbled out like a Pixar movie. It didn't quite, you could see the craters. It was clear. The dark side of the moon. You had the moon lit up, but the dark side of the moon, you could see clearly. And I was like, nah, I'm tripping. I've been working too many hours or something, man. That's not what I'm looking at. I ain't bother taking a picture of it because I was like, nah, nobody's going to. If I take a picture, it's not going to do it any justice. I done it so much. Like, that's the type of attitude I have. I need to stop doing that and get back to taking pictures again. But yeah, I'm just like, it's not going to do it any justice. And it's like our cameras are designed that way. I'm telling you, man, all this stuff here is a game. It's a game. So we get done, man, end of the night, man. Dude comes up to me and he asked me, he was like, did you see anything weird tonight? You know what I'm saying? Do you see anything tonight? You know, I was like, nah, nothing but the, usual drones see every night, because I wanted to see if he saw it. And then immediately he goes, dude, did you see the moon? I was like, dude, I didn't think you was going to say nothing. Like, man, look, the moon was looking crazy. And we was just sitting there tripping over that. And then the next night, I didn't see the moon. And the night after that, the moon was back to looking more normal. It didn't look like that anymore. And for a while there, I tracked the moon. I was trying to track the moon every day and see where it was in the sky every day, for how long and whatnot. And it's there every day. And then a couple of times it was weird because it wouldn't be there. It wouldn't be there during the day, and it was there the day before. And then at nighttime, it's just now coming up again. Okay. Then the next day, the moon is still in the sky. Excuse me. It's still in the sky, like it's like high noon in the sky, and it just goes across like, everything's normal for the rest of the night. I saw the moon once, and it's in the sky this one night, man, and it's super bright. I mean, it's crazy bright. Night goes on, and I'm paying attention to it the whole night. It goes down probably about midnight that night, right? Next morning, I go to work. The moon is in the same spot it was the night before. And I was like, how does that work? How is that possible? Man, it was weird trying to keep track of the moon and how it moves. Just recently, probably about a month ago, I went to pick up some food, and I was waiting for my order, and I must have been there about 30, 45 minutes. And I went outside at one point, and I was looking at the moon. Came back inside. 30 minutes later, I go back outside, looking to see the moon again. The moon's not there. Well, I'm thinking the moon, maybe it moved a little bit. So I'm looking around. I don't see the moon nowhere. I was like, hold up, man. It couldn't have went that far. It's only like 30 minutes. I wasn't gone that long. It wasn't even quite 30 minutes from the last time I was just out here looking. Now, it was sort of cloudy, and I saw planes flying because I could see the lights. I assumed they were planes, and I could see stars. I could not see the moon. And I thought that was weird. I thought maybe I'm tripping. Yet, I'm listening to a podcast like a couple of days later, and a lady gets on there, and she's saying the same thing. The moon disappeared. Like she was looking at it one night, came back to look, and it was gone. And she was like looking at it like for a while, you know, and then came back, and all of a sudden it's gone. It's not there anymore. I thought I was tripping. Then I hear that. And see, stuff like that gives me a little more validity to the things I see. Because I'm going to tell you what, man. And I'm going to end it with this. We're going to talk some more about the sky and whatnot later. But I'm going to end it with this. I'm going to tell this story real quick. Probably about 2019, I was listening to one of Sanchez's streams, and this is back when I was still questioning, was like he even a real person, man? Like he was putting out so much information and doing these long streams and coming out with more information. I was like, when does he sleep? Like when he got time to do all this stuff, man? Like I was like, damn. Anyway, lady was on there and she was like a sun gazer. And she started talking about how, and it was like the end of the show, I think. And she just started blurting out about how she's been looking at the sky and there's holes in the sky. And there's a sky in the sky. And they're always there and we just don't even notice them. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, I look at the sky all the time, man. I ain't never seen a hole in the sky, man. Like, I think some people just get up here and try to get their 15 minutes of just saying stuff, man. This stuff be crazy, man. I don't think like that no more. I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt for the stuff they saying. Some people are playing with you. They trolling. Like, they just saying crazy stuff to get you to go along with it. But, like, some stuff sound crazy. Truth is crazier than fiction, stranger than fiction. So I'm hearing her talk about this, and I'm like, man, I'm blew it off, no big deal, right? It was 2020, doing the whole thing going on, and I'm working as normal. Like I'm not even thinking about that thing, man. I'm like, shoot, ain't nobody on the road, ain't nobody, man. Shoot, I'm good to go, man. I'm just doing my regular thing. So one day I'm going to work, and it was a clear blue sky. It was during that summer. It was a clear blue sky. I'll never forget, man. It was not a cloud in the sky. It was nice. It was warm already. It's already about 80 degrees early in the morning. About 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. It's already about 80 degrees. It was hot. I remember. Anyway, as I'm walking to the car to leave for work, I see this cloud puff in the sky. And as soon as I see it, it's dissipating. And I'm wondering where that cloud puff even come from, man. It's not even a cloud in the sky. It seems like it's a little too dry and hot out here for clouds right now. Why ain't no other clouds? Where that thing come from? Except it's dissipating, so, I ain't really paying too much attention. I get to work, walking into work, I see the cloud puff again. I was like, man, where that thing coming from? It's dissipating, though. Paying no attention. I keep on going. I'm working now. I'm doing my thing. I see the cloud puff again. Damn, where is this thing keep coming from, man? So the whole day it was like that. I look, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. So now it's almost 4 o'clock, 3:30, something like that, man. I was like, I see it again. I'm like, hold up. I stop and I watch it this time. I want to make sure it's completely gone. I'm like, where does this thing come from? Is it just gonna pop back up in the sky again? Because literally the whole time I'm watching it, the cloud puff is popping up. I'm seeing it in the same place the whole day. It's not like it's in different spots in the sky. It's in the same spot the whole freaking day. You hear me? And it wasn't like it was one over here, different ones, and it looked damn near the same every time. The whole day. I was like, what's going on? So I stopped and I really watched this thing. And I shit you not. When that thing dissipated, I saw a hole in the sky. I saw clouds that were like far off in the background, like storm clouds. They were like a little darker shade of blue than the sky. And then in the foreground, and the best way to describe it is floating right past the hole, I saw this white cloud. And I shit you not, floating right past this hole. And I'm looking all around like, where are these clouds? And I'm looking at the hole. Now look, this is how I know these videos on these portal videos, they fake as shit. Cause it ain't got no, the whole ring they do like with Doctor Strange, it don't look like that. It looks nothing like that. It's just a fucking hole. And if you not paying no attention, you wouldn't even fucking see it. Literally. Except we done seen it all the time. It's how them clouds be looking when they off in the distance, and you see these clouds in the distance, except you don't see no other clouds in the sky around it. It's like it's just a set of clouds off in the distance way over here. When I saw it, I realized I've been seeing this all the time, except the hole would be huge. It'll be a huge hole. If it was big, I wouldn't have noticed it. Because it was a small thing, I noticed it. The only reason I noticed it is because it was small. And it was crazy. And after that, like, the whole portal concept, oh man. These portals, these entryways probably occur here naturally on a regular basis on some type of time frame from in different places, just like the stars aligning. Just like the eclipse. I don't even want to call that the moon eclipse and the sun, whatever, because that's not what it is. That's not what's going on at all. I cannot see it, especially after watching this last eclipse and that thing making an L. And I think they did something to it. They did something to change this thing just a little bit more. And only time will tell how much or if we even notice the changes. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to these projections in the sky now, I look at them different. And here's the thing. I don't think they're in control of all of this stuff, because if they were, I don't think sunset and sunrise would have changed like that. They might have had something to do with it, but except it's something outside of their control. They're not showing us. I think they show us certain things, except certain things are outside of their realm, scope of doing anything about. They haven't figured out how to do it just yet. I think they're working on it. I think that's part of why they were shooting rockets at this eclipse this time. You see what I'm saying? Why are you turning on Cern at the same time? And here's the other thing. The guy that came up with the Higgs boson particle, he died April 8th. Supposedly when they turned on the machine or after they turned it on, he died that day. You see what I'm saying? These eclipses mark certain deaths and births and endings and beginnings. You see what I'm saying? These are, it's like a well-kept timepiece. And at this point, they're manipulating this system. Now, when it comes to the destruction of Earth that they've been talking about, it's not the Earth being destroyed and not being here. It's just the Earth being changed, and that is exactly what's happened. The Mayan calendar, I know is right, because we've changed. The old way ended in 2012. You see what I'm saying? That's what they was calling the end. This is the end of the old way, and the new way began in 2012, and we don't know it. This is all part of Revelations. This is a part in Revelations where it says something about all this terrible stuff going on and the people walking around and not caring about it, being unaware, like it didn't mean anything to them. That's us. That's us right now. All the stuff going on. And when people see bad stuff, they just want to duck their head and look away. Like, I don't even see it. I'm not paying no attention. I don't care about it. And everything here is connected, except all of us have been taught that we're all disconnected. We're all different, and one thing ain't got nothing to do with the other thing, and that's the game they play. That's how they can sit there and not say anything about sunset and sunrise changing or the King Tut burial mass. You know, that's why guys like this go into obscurity for the things they say, and what you end up with is a bunch of NASA photos of a dune buggy on the moon and playing golf on the moon. Like, come on, man, for real. First pictures on the moon. Who took it? And even with this last moon landing that they did, this recent moon landing, if you haven't heard about it, look it up. This private company, Elon Musk company, they supposedly landed on the moon again. Who took the video? Who took the video from the ground of that thing landing? You see what I'm saying? They tell us all types of stuff, man. We just sort of buy it. We don't really do our due diligence and investigating this thing like we should, man. We don't really look. We get caught up in the superficial stuff of it. Oh, man. And I got so much more you know what? Yeah, I got so much more to grow on this one too, man, because I could talk some more about this. I'm going to say one last thing, and I got to get this out real quick. Going back to the chemtrailing and what I call was drones, the things I would see in the sky. And that little white thing I would see following these chemtrail drones playing. I'm calling them drones because I'm literally, one night there was so many of them flying up, and they were so low, and I was like, and it was during the whole lockdown phase that fall, and everything was busy around the area where I work, and it was so many in the sky that night, man. I remember, man, and it was crazy. And they were so low to the ground, and I could tell that they were small. They were not these large planes. I was just walking out looking at them like, these are not large planes. These are drones flying this low. You just can't tell because it's nighttime. They got all the lights on them. They look right. It is not right. It's not right. Something's not right about them. Anyway, I used to watch this little white thing. Like I said, I could never get it on camera, right? So this one day, I'm leaving out my apartment complex, and I see these two drones flying above the apartment complex, like across the street, just above the building across the street. It didn't seem like it was that high, maybe 50, not even 100 feet in the air, man. It's like they weren't that high in the air. Couldn't have been. It was flying low. I didn't really pay too much attention to the drones. They looked like, standard drones. They were small, and they were going slow. That was another thing that caught my attention. They were going real, like they were in slow motion. It was crazy. And I was just sort of stuck for a second. I hadn't even pulled out my phone yet. What really caught my attention was the thing that was in between the two drones. It was this little silver-looking shell thing. And I was like, whoa, I've seen it before. And I couldn't remember where I've seen it before. I've seen this thing before. It's some type of spaceship type looking thing, man. I was tripping. I'm staring at it, stuck. And I'm trying to get my phone, and my phone is locked. And I'm trying to open up the code and, look at the thing. And, I couldn't get my phone out. Before I knew it, I just pulled out trying to follow them, except I lost them over the treetops. Like, they were so low, the treetops, I covered them up. That's how low they were. It was so low. In the direction they were headed, I couldn't see them. It was like they were gone. When the trees cleared out, they wasn't there no more. It's like they was gone. I'm telling you, man. The thing I seen, though, the little ship that I saw, I couldn't remember at the time the name of the movie or where I had seen that thing, but I knew I had seen that thing somewhere before, and I couldn't remember. So when I got back, I wanted to draw something so I could remember what it looked like. And can you see that? This is what I draw. This is what I drew. I didn't want to forget what the shape of that thing was, man. It was crazy. That's what I drew. Okay? And then eventually I remembered where I saw that thing and the name of the movie it was in. I remember where I saw it, and it was the name of the movie was killing me. When I show it to you, you're going to trip out. Man, I'm telling you, I saw this thing. It was right there. Let's bring this into view. There we go. This thing right here. This is what I saw. That shit right there. Now, if you know who Bob Lazar is, there's a documentary out he's in. After 30 years, he gets to tell his story. They ain't killed him off, about what he saw in Area 51. And if you look it up, look up Bob Lazar and his documentary about Area 51. I forget what the name of it is. I'm trying to remember. It was popular just a couple of years ago. It was like all of a sudden he gets to tell his story and Element 115 and all this other stuff. Yeah, like it's all real stuff. Yeah, it's all real stuff. In it, he talks about this Jello mold type spaceship that they was working on. And I think this is it. I think that's what he was talking about. Remember the old Jello mold bowls we had back in the late 70s, early 80s? Everybody had one. You just put the Jello in it, and turn it upside down, and just a little mound, and it's got the little ridges in it. That's what that looks like. He said the best way he could describe it was a Jello mold type thing. So that maybe is not it. I'm telling you, that's what I saw. That right there. And for me, it's funny how the stuff that happens in real life always ends up looking so much like the movies. And when it's happening in real life and it don't look like the movies, nobody believes it's happening. But as soon as that shit look like the movie, oh, that's what's happening, aliens. That ain't what happening. Aliens ain't what's happening. That's them. The drones it was flying with, this thing was flying with, they look military. They look like they were American. You know what I mean? I really wasn't paying them a whole lot of attention. They just look like standard little small drone planes. Like the wings was straight. You know what I mean? Like it was weird. It looked like they should have had a propeller or something on them, so they didn't. Like it was weird. It was weird looking drones, man, and they were just flying slow. And this thing was in between them. And I ain't even tell that story to a lot of people. I'm telling it now because why not? This is what I'm doing it for. To tell everybody, look, this is what's going on, dog. And I'm telling you I seen this. I'm not crazy. I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping at all. I'm telling you I seen this. So when people say, oh, it's alien ships flying around, yeah, some stuff flying around. I've been seeing this since I was little. I've known the U.S. Air Force was making flying saucers since I was little. U.S. Air Force flying saucers. And I used to try to tell people there was stuff in the sky and nobody wanted to listen to me. So I started trying to figure out what these things was I was seeing in the sky. And it's them. Now, they always show you this round stuff right here. Now, they got some old photos from like the 50s, though, where they have three types of flying saucers. They got the circle, there's this little disc they got here, and they got the triangle, which everybody is popular UFO right now, the triangle UFO, which is the same shape they use for a lot of these spy planes. Remember the stealth bomber, all of them did triangles. And they got a square. I want to say that's what they was calling the tic tac. UFO, yeah, it's a little square UFO, and yeah, the one I saw, the old photo, you would describe it as a tic tac. It looks sort of like a tic tac, square like a tic tac. But yeah, um, they've been doing this for a while, man. See which one this one is. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. This one of the new planes they got. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh man. Mm-hmm. This joint right here. This is this is the triangle UFO with the three lights on it people was talking about. That right there. Mm-hmm. See a little bubble right there? That's new technology, man. That's real stuff. So them videos a few years back you was seeing of these things right here just doing all types of stuff and people was like those is fake videos. Might have been real videos. This thing right here is real. They got a name for it. Hold up, $45. What is it? Kit Black Manta. This might be a toy or something. This might be a toy they got out there, but they really got this thing here. They really got that thing there. That might be the little toy version they selling or something, man. But they really do have that thing. Let me show you real quick. TR3B. Go to images and yeah, there you go. See, it's a this is a patent for one of the new UFO. I gonna say UFO. We're gonna say one of the new military planes, man. But it's really not a plane. It's a starship. Here we go. Top secret anti-gravity spy plane, TR3B Black Manta. That's what you're looking at. Yeah. And let me see. They got others. The military. They have I meant the Navy. The Navy has the square Tic Tac plane. That's the one they talking about. If I can find it. Anti-gravity spy plane. That's what they call it, but it's really a spacecraft. If you look at the patent for it, let's see where the patent is. You know what? Blow this up so you can see it. Triangular spacecraft. This invention is a spacecraft having a triangular hull with vertical electrostatic line charges on each corner. The line charges create a horizontal you got to see this right here. I'm going to go ahead and click on that because you got to see that part. See if I can blow it up real quick. I'm going to show you this. Each corner that produce a horizontal electric field parallel to the sides of the hull. This field interacting with the plane wave emitted by antennas on the side of the hull generates a force per volume combining both lift and propulsion. You understand what it's saying? Ain't no thrust in this thing. They using electromagnetism, using energy to fly this thing. This is what they telling you. This is the new technology they got. They ain't telling you about it. Instead, they're going to be like, oh, no, it's aliens. It's aliens. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that you'll be able to show them this, and they'll still say NASA telling us the truth and it's aliens. If you got a plane like this, why are you fighting wars the way you fighting them? Why are you just blowing shit up? And you think about that, the implications of having something like this. But what we doing? We just blowing shit up all the time, right? We got some big ass bombs, right? We got nuclear war. But you got stuff like this. You got stuff like this, man. Look, the whole ISIS thing where they was beating us up with some flip flops and some nightgowns. The best military in the world, and you couldn't stop them. And these dudes had on flip flops and nightgowns with AKs and rocket launchers. That's it. They ain't had no tanks. They had some Toyota Tundras with some machine guns on the back. And who gave them that? Where'd they get them from? Man, you got to ask the right questions, man. You got to ask the right questions. I'm telling you. Man, I know one place, though. Israeli. Let me see. There you go. Mm-hmm. That's the ISIS I know. That's the only ISIS I know, man. Them folks with the machine guns on the Toyota Tundras, I don't know who that was. I know they was messing our military up, and our military couldn't do nothing about it, though. I mean, for real. I don't buy it. I don't buy that. The strongest military in the world. When you got technology like this, and all you doing is blowing up, and some people can run around with some, man, come on, dog, with some machine guns and some rocket launchers, and you can't do nothing about it. And they don't show you none of this stuff, and none of the war videos. They don't show you none of these planes they got and do all this extra stuff. Planes, at none of the air shows have you ever seen any of these flying saucers. You ain't never seen them used in war. So what are they using for? I'll give you one guess. You ain't using it for war. The military making it, and you ain't using it for war. And it ain't even in the vintage airplane shows to show off or nothing. Like what? Who using it? What you using it for? I'll give you one guess. On some damn ET shit. That's what they on. They on some ET shit. They ET, man. They the extraterrestrial. They done told you, because some of these people, it's two types of people. There's people that's supposed to be here, and there's people that's not like us. You see what I'm saying? And they done told you, we the extraterrestrials. They letting you know, we the extraterrestrials. The people that's doing that, yo, they letting you know. Now, that's a whole lot of us helping them that don't know, that don't get it. We believe everything that's going on. And that's the game. They've mixed in among us. They working with us. They live with us. They go to church with us and school with us and everything, man. Yeah. They at the grocery store. They at the restaurant. They was at the movies, the bowling alley. They was on vacation when you was on vacation. I'm telling you, man. It's two different types of people out here. Two different types of people. Why are you out here blowing all this stuff up when you got all this sophisticated equipment you can use? And you don't have to do that just to take out your target if that's what it is. Because there's something else bigger at play. And with that, I'm going to leave you for today. We're going to cut it short. And we will see you next time, my Nagas. Peace and love. Peace.